Hey people, Intro Tier 3v3, Angstrom Heights blue team. It's Khalin with a Lord General fighting in ranged combat. Begins with a retinue of stormtroopers, going to also add to the retinue throughout the game really strong defense and support alongside ChunkyCoates as a commando knob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you and blows you up. Orky style begins in ranged combat with a twin link shooter, and rounding off this team, Trickster is an Inquisitor, offensive hero with powerful control abilities, begins in melee but can get specialised ranged weapons. Red team, Corrupted Jesus is a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and destructive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control, alongside some Space Marines, Jumpers999, they Force Commander, very good offense, fighting in melee, can also tank, disrupt and support. And rounding off the teams is Demiurg with a Techmarine, starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. No idea how to say this. Demiurg, never seen anyone say it. Sentinel from Khalin. See a lot of action on these natural powers in the west and the south. I think it's worth the mid player trying to split and 2v1 a bit down here. But looks like they're focusing mid early on. Kommando sneaking around, the Sorcerer in the northeast should be able to do some good work, teleporting around on that. Got a war banner up to help defend the power. Kommando ties up the tactical marines here, lots of Daka. Trying to get a scout model, couldn't quite manage it. The sluggers are going for the tactical marines, and attacks are getting quite low. Shooters should be working on them too here. Sluggers got messed up by the battle crying Force Commander. Chaos Space Marines already packing their Eternal War. They can get into melee with these shooters and the guardsmen and stuff and rip them up. Tactical Marines did not drop a model, I don't think. One more headbutt, couldn't quite get it done. Now goes after the scouts. Doom bolts and a special attack which looked fancy but hit nothing. Consumes the heretics, gets some health and energy back, and maybe another doom bolts here. Sentinel does not have the ground pound. There's the doom bolts. Almost wiped out those guardsmen and then runs, and I think it's going to be alright. CSM meanwhile we're trying to melee some orcs down here. Pretty effective in melee for a predominantly ranged squad, the CSM, especially with that Eternal War buffing their damage by 20%. Going after the Sentinel here. 489 to 500. Here comes sluggers, which are a threat. So they flee. Meanwhile, the natural power situation looks like, well, looks bad for the Space Marines. They got those decaps. Demiurg lost a scout or two. They've got sniper. A sniper rifle on those fellas. Anything else we can see in terms of upgrades very early on? Assault squad here for jumpers. So that's where all their power's going. 45 power for an assault marine squad. It still seems weird to me. They've been a 50 power squad for like 10 years and then they changed it for 45 power. On the power are the Orks. We got burners on the sluggers, helping to make short work of these generators. Maybe they should be trying to decap here, but they want to try and get this bash. Gonna get a couple of gens, I think, alongside the node. Meanwhile, southwest corner, stomp from the Sentinel. Tactical Marines low, Techmarine off the field. Struggling against this early Imperial Guard army, which is often a case when you're faced with a Sentinel. If it's used well, it can be very difficult to deal with this kind of thing. Tactical Marines do drop a model. They've now got a Flamer on the way, potentially looking to get onto the power, and we see Jumpers here trying to split and support the southwest. Also running through the mid with Assault Squad, and that Force Commander just hits level 2 with some bolt pistol kills. Commando went down there. Got some Zinchian infiltration and Raptors on the field for Corrupted Jesus. There's a good stomp. Assault Squad will still be in play though, and Scout Shotguns trying to get close. Raptor jump, they suppress on landing. Assault Squad disrupt you when they land, and they can get onto the power. I don't think they've got any, no flamers, because their attacks were down helping here. There they are, and they did not get flamers. Scouts trying to take back the wreck point. They've got their power built back up again. Khalin dipping into the mid a bit. Meets a Sorcerer. Going after that Lord General now. The Lord General himself will die last. So those Stormtrooper retinue fellows act as kind of a buffer. Extra health for the Lord General, you could think of it. The Imperial Guard here, having to function without their Sentinel for now. Where is it? Oh, it's in the mid. Devastator's on the way for Demiurg. That should help them hold the line in the southwest, maybe even push up onto the power too with the flamer. Doom bolts. Tried to get those shooters as they ran in, didn't quite hit them cleanly. Got some of the retreating sluggers pretty well. Look at this. Assassin's Knife for the Kommando. Might kill one of those CSM. In his melee charge. Smack. Does get one of them. Got the Assassinate and Tripper shots. Tripper shot is awesome. Should help to control the Force Commander. Because even if he's battle crying, he'll still get stunned by it, I assume. Even if you can't knock him over. Mastercrafted Bolter Techmarine retreats here at just under half health. I guess they're being cautious. But the Flamer is on the power. Sentinel could stomp. Goes for it. Gets it. Gets all 3 models too. So they only got 1 gen, I think. And now they need to run. I thought the sluggers were going to rush him, but I guess not. Devastator's in play. Maybe the tax can stay in play then. Popping their Kraken bolts, which gives them 20% more damage versus heavy infantry, and it takes down the Sentinel. The Sentinel has heavy infantry armor in this game. Or, you know, you wouldn't be able to touch it in Tier 1. Assault Squad in retreat. Sluggers with burners be chasing. The burners do count as a couple of power melee weapons. Raptor jump. They're going to be counter-initiated by the sluggers, I imagine. Yep. Doom bolts flying in after them, though. Lot of damage for the Raptors. But they created kind of a focal point for the Doom bolts to fly in on them. CSM pushing forward. Are they in melee? Looked like they were on melee stance there for a second. Shotgun from the scouts doing their thing, and then they run away. Inquisitor with an Inferno pistol out immediately in Tier 2. Alongside some Stormtroopers here. They might have been pulled in. Did not notice them being produced. And there's the Judgment up on the Sorcerer. After 20 seconds or so, she can judge the target and do a bunch of damage. So typically you'll see the judged unit leave. And that was a Hammer of the Witches you just saw. 453 to 468. Kommando hits level 2. That was Tripper shot, I think, on the Tactical Marines. And they dropped a model. Assault Squad are now here. Good pressure there from the blue team. Run them off. Got a decap on the wreck point. Assault Squad, not sure what they were trying to jump there. Just trying to preemptively get into a retreat path, maybe. Flame attacks of Demiurg going for the power, dropping a model though. Mastercrafted Bolter Techmarine is helping out with a melter gun queued up for Tier 2. Not sure why it's been queued up. There's no enemy vehicles on the field. And won't be able to use the Mastercrafted Bolter while it's equipped, obviously. Down goes the Devastators. A little bit sloppy from Demiurg. Just suppressed the Kommando with the high-powered shot. Who is fully kitted out here. Better combat kit. More health regen, and booby traps are in. Sluggers with their Knob Leader now become exponentially more dangerous with that guy. He's got a power melee weapon of his own. And a chunk of hit points. Ogren's up here for Khalin. Melter gun is still queued up. Ogrins are super heavy infantry, so the melter gun will do good damage to them, but so will the plasma gun, and from longer range. And Mastercrafted Bolter could suppress them too. So I'm still kind of puzzled by this choice. They are going through with it. Here comes the melter gun. It's a good weapon, but you're going to lose the utility of suppression, and there's no vehicles to counter. Raptors with Aspiring Champion here. They get a heavy melee Demon Maul. Drop pod coming in from Demiurg for some more Tactical Marines. Maybe we'll see them turned into Stern Guard. Dark Flames from the Sorcerer too. Good support here from Corrupted Jesus. Don't let anyone tell you that Sorcerers aren't helpful. Bloodletters in the field. Power melee demons. Bad news for all this infantry stuff. We'll tear through Ogrins, I assume, as well pretty well. What is this? This is Scouts grabbing that northeastern contested power, which is genned up. Decent grenade. Got Plasma Gun Guardsmen too. At 12 models, so they're going to trade very well with Marines. Have their Sergeant and their Commissar leaders, so they'll reinforce 3 at a time with Plasma Guns on 3 of the models. And the models that have special weapons, they will just replace the special weapon if they go down. They'll just like transfer to another model. So they'll keep those plasma guns unless they start dropping down below 3 guardsman models. You just saw the tactical marines with the flamer there wiped out by sluggers. Sneaky sluggers tearing through these marines. Look at this. With hide the boys from the commando. Some really good work done by those sluggers there. Really good work. Now they've got to fight some raptors though, and they're getting low, and that's a good special. Doom blast. Can they wipe the sluggers? Just as I said, they were doing great work. I think they can, surely. 1 hit point on those fellas. They get away. The raptors didn't stay on them. Big mistake there from corrupted Jesus. They should be wiped sluggers, but they made it out. And ChunkyCoates is in tier 3. 360 to 468. Triple cap here for the red team. Kommando trying to grab the red team's natural. And we got scouts here being annoying, capping stuff out. I assume they got the VP. There's that melter gun Techmarine at level 2. Demiurg having a rough time in the southwest. Lost the Devastators, lost tactical marines. You see how they do. Signum armor's on the way. Always a great choice to mark targets, so they take more damage rather. Here's double tax from Jumpers, popping their Kraken bolts just to look fancy. They won't do any extra damage to stormtroopers. They are regular infantry, not heavy. Meanwhile, in the mid, Kommando's called in by ChunkyCoates straight on the cap, and they do have a faster capping trait.
So the generator is online.
Can decap so fast when he got that trait. Kommando in amongst some scouts, but he didn't have the energy to use his assassinate because he was using it sneaking around. Almost level 3. Bloodletters get rid of him though. Corrupted Jesus goes tier 3, as does Khalin, and ChunkyCoates with a knob squad on the way. Some Daka in the mid. Assault squad. Are they going to jump? Nope. They're going to be knocked over by Commandos using Love the Daka. Very strong disruptive ability. Force Commander in the back lines. Almost called him a Sorcerer then. With a Teleporter pack and a Power Fist. The Assault squad are now up and about and jumping. There's those plasma guns. Sluggers going in. They lost their knob leader, of course, when they barely got away there. Haven't replaced him yet. But still, putting up a hell of a fight with some plasma gun support against the Assault Marines. I've just got a sound bug. Isn't that? And we're back. Sorry about the cut, but you know, sound bugs. We just saw those Assault Marines fall over dead. Poor bastards. For those who don't know, the sound bug cuts all your sound and then crashes the game. And nobody in the world knows how to stop it. Apparently, Windows 10 makes it worse, and I have very recently, within the last couple of weeks, started to record my casts on Windows 10 because Windows 7 is just too freaking old and I want it out of my life. I use it only for Dawn of War 2 and I want it gone. So I'm trying to go full into Windows 10 for my Dawn of War 2. Hopefully it doesn't mean way more sound bugs. Hopefully. Is that Curse of Zinch on the Knob Squad? I think it is. Yep, from the Archon of Zinch. Typically you'd see it put on a squad that's easier to take models off, but it went on the Knob Squad there, and now the Tome of Subjugation is in. Got some stunned heretics, but they're still worshipping, and they just killed their own Commander Knob. That was fun. 213 to 460 on the VPs, a single cap for the red team. Knob Squad now headbutting stuff on the red team, chasing off the Raptors. Oh man, almost took him out. Some fire on the heretics takes them out. The burner bomb from the commandos there. Don't know if the Knob Squad is going to get away though. No, they aren't. Kept them in there a little bit too long, did ChunkyCoates. 207 to 460, a 1-to-1 cap now. Shotgun blast, setting up a bloodletter push there on the shooters. Gets one of them off the field. Some of them stick around. We've got some flanking guardsmen now with plasma guns, trying to focus down the bloodletters, but they are walked out for safety. They won't take any damage. They also can't attack or cap or be knocked over and all that stuff, but now they are retreating. And I think they're going to be okay. Yep, Judgment up on the Sorcerer again. The Inquisitor really doesn't like him. You know, something to do with heresy, and so on. These double Stormtroopers, they are. With assault kits, a lot of burst damage. Demiurg now with the Dreadnought getting some repairs in its default melee state. More gens up too. I guess these guys maybe just bashed something. Ogrins are still around, running away. And a Lehman Russ is on the field for Khalin. Gonna hang around the mid for now. It looks like they're bashing power here with those hotshot las guns. Pretty effective bash, it's got to be said. There's the Dark Flames and a full retreat from the Dark Flames. Could have just backed away, I think. Might just be breaking the retreat here with the Commissars, but he can't break the retreat of the Stormtroopers.
We've more important things to do.
Nope, retreat is not being broken. And he didn't drop any models. Little bit of an overreaction. I mean, I know it's a lot of fire from the warp dropping on your head. It's not nice, but could have stayed in play there, fellas. I don't think red team are going to push, though. It's just not a huge loss. Scouts here with shotguns and the sergeant. Sluggers do not finish the cap. Maybe? Oh, they're trying. They're trying. Just got distracted for a second by the thought of fighting stuff. Level 3. Dropping model to shotguns. They might get grenaded here as they close. There's the attempt. It's a good one. Took out one model. Good enough. They can maybe get onto the VP, but meanwhile, Bloodletter's having to get their own VP back. Kommando's being annoying there. In the mid, turning red. Sorcerer levels to what? To 5. Curse of Tzeentch on the Commandos. Will cause explosions as models die, but you need to kill them. Got melter gun raptors too. To go after the Leman Russ maybe. There is a Land Raider Redeemer on the field for Jumpers. Very effective in-field support for the red team. Now they can retreat back to this and reinforce off it if they mark it as their retreat point, the players. Happy to push up against the Commandos. They do have that rocket launcher. Flamestorm cannons doing some work. Meanwhile, red team still can't get a natural back. I think those guys are going to do it. Lots of good Kommando disruption and distraction there from ChunkyCoates. Land Raider hanging out in the mid. It can't get rear armor hits, so spinning around, while not ideal because you want the weapons facing forward, obviously. The Flamers can't turn all the way around, neither can the assault cannon or the multi-melter. They won't take rear armor hits at least. Lots of leveling up guardsman stuff. Level 3 stormtroopers there, level 3 guardsmen. Are they going to go for the VP or cut into the mid? Looks like they're cutting in here. Blue team grab it. The Land Raider, for whatever reason, did not try to stop them with the frag assault or just some firepower. Baneblade on the way for Trickster. They've got some Kashyyykin too. No weapon upgrades for these guys yet. There they are. You can get free weapon upgrades and change them whenever they want, those guys. And wow, there's melted some Tactical Marines Jumpers down to just the Land Raider and the Force Commander now. Where is he? He's in there. Retreating back to the Land Raider, which is also moving. Gonna die, I think, the Force Commander. Needed to get inside the Land Raider. Here's Assault Terminators though. And they can get their lightning claws and rip through these Orks. But for now, they have spawned in with the heavy melee Thunderhammers. Not quite as devastating against infantry as the lightning claws, because nothing is. But it's still pretty awesome weapons and can damage everything. Ogren's backing off them. Surprised they're not engaging here. Tripper shots and some assassinate, teleporting back then those Terminators. They do have some plasma guardsmen, remember, and the Kashyyykin can get plasma guns, I believe. You can get plasma and melter and the grenade launchers. They haven't got anything yet. Lots of Dakar. It's a hell of a lot of Dakar. Couldn't knock over the Terminators though, and they couldn't knock over the Bloodletters because they were warped out. 178 to 346. Baneblade on the field for Trickster. Bristling with guns. Heavy bolters, las cannons, mega battle cannon, and that demolisher. More than a match for a Land Raider Redeemer. Can be quite vulnerable to heavy melee though, so needs to be careful of those assault Terminators. They seem to be backing off. And you can get rear armor hits on the Baneblade. Scouts on the way for Jumpers to help support that Land Raider with repairs. Demolisher cannon on the VP. And there's some fire there from a burner bomb. Commandos then run away. The Assault Terminators are chasing the Baneblade. Nob Squad makes them turn around though without their lightning claws. It's a much more risky fight against the Nob Squad. Especially if the Nob Squad is well supported and upgraded. These guys don't have their hammers, but they do have Meaner and Greener, and they do have their Nob Leader too. hammers is kind of a luxury purchase for those guys. I think the other upgrades are a bit more important. It is really nice though to get that stacking buff from the hammers. I believe it's 5% per stack, and they can get 4 of them, can't they? So it's a substantial buff if they're dug into combat and getting those hits. Assault Terminators turn to engage alongside Bloodletters, and Bloodletters are actually pretty damn good at fighting a Nob Squad, you know. They pour out a lot of power melee damage. Did some really good work there. Dark Flames to burn the shooters. Baneblade is pretty healthy. There's a Orb of the Omnissiah though to stun it. Disables weaponry, can't move. Power Fist Terminator's going after it now. Plasma Cannon getting shots in. And here come Raptors, they could get the Baneblade here. Assault Terminators are not helping. There's the Melter Bomb from the Raptors, I think this is enough. And they get it. I assume it had marked target on it too, I didn't actually see it. But I am often blind. Well played Demiurg. Set up that kill. 178 to 241. Assault Terminator took a bunch of damage, but it did not drop a model. Speaking of melter guns, got some for the Lord General here, but he's switching to a sniper rifle with the fire on my target for more weapon range. Plasma Cannon hits that fella. He didn't even die. Is that a heavy flamer? Don't often see the heavy flamer for the Terminators in a 3v3. More often than not, they'll go for the Cyclone Missile Launcher because it's pretty damn good. But there is a lot of regular infantry around, and the flamer should tear through them pretty well. Scouts almost wiped. That's a lot of plasma damage though. Cadians, the Pasukins show it with the melter guns, and they do extra damage versus super heavy. Doom Bolts flies in. Ouch. And the fire there from the... Is it called Cleansing Flame? It is. There's a lot of dead guardsmen for Trickster. But they'll reinforce nice and quick. Not sure how much Kasukin are to reinforce. Maybe we can see here. See how painful it is to bleed those guys. 143 to 241. Great Unclean One on the way for Jesus. It's 40 and 6 power to reinforce Kasukin. Not too bad. That was right in me crosshairs being charged up by that Kommando. We're watching the Inquisitor now. Bashing power with her Inferno Pistol. Might die though. Marked target is up on her and she does go down. She had, I think that was Excruciators on the way. Baneblade of Khalin now on the field, as you saw. But very confused for a second, thinking Trickster had another one already. But nope. They are going for a Lumen Rust though. Kommando with Rocket Launcher trying to put pressure on the Land Raider, but being tied up in melee by the Raptors, who just took a friendly fire shot from that Plasma Cannon down to a single model of that Plasma Cannon. They did kill the Kommando too. Plasma pouring in on the Terminators. Kasukin have gone back to their Hell Guns. Oh, maybe they can't get Plasma Guns then. Maybe it's only Melter and Grenade Launchers. Here's your Great Unclean One. Actually synergizes quite well with the Sorcerer because he can teleport it around when it's in trouble, or if he needs it in a specific place with his warp. We've got ChunkyCoates and Trickster's Inquisitor both down. There's some Noble Vomit. 138 to 201. Baneblade backs away successfully. We have a medical bunker here. You can see the green hexagons for health regen. You can also reinforce off it. Frag Assault. Great Unclean One gets a good cloud of flies. This guy also passively damages nearby enemies. Soaked up some good damage there. Am I hearing a Rocks? No, I don't think so. I thought that was a Rocks. What is this? That's a Kommando squad. Getting a really good cap there. And getting away. Heretics will take it back, but I need to maybe keep something there now. You're at the point on the VPs where you don't really want to be losing your VP to Commandos every 60 seconds. Assault Terminators have done fantastically well. Jumpers has tons of resources. Not sure why they aren't spending it. Are they waiting for the cooldown to get more Terminators? There's a 5-minute cooldown, I believe. That might be the case. 128 to 191. Raptors jumping in. There's a Melter on the rear armor of the Leman Russ. They don't seem to be shooting it though, now they are. Dark flames in the back lines. Makes things back away, but there's a medical bunker right there. I don't think that's worth the 100 odd red. They take down the Lehman Russ. We now have Lightning Claw Terminators and some more Assault Terminators. This is what they were saving up for. Trying to get onto the Baneblade there. Red team looking quite strong in the mid. Land Raider, 2 Assault Terminators from Jumpers. Jumpers alone looking very strong. And that Great Unclean one, of course. Not to mention Demiurg's got some Terminators which are bashing and now capping power and stuff. Stole on that power. Maybe the Techmarine could go after this. They've got Flesh over Steel as well. Maybe it's already been used though. Nob's got to go after the Great Unclean one. And they eat a stomp for it. Big cloud of flies stomp. And now they're subjugated. Going after the Lord General there. Terminator's backing away. 113 to 191. Here we go. Demiurg is going for the Baneblade. Missile launcher getting hits. These guys, oh, they're just doing fire. They're just doing Cleansing Flame. I thought they were getting close to use their Power Fist there. Sluggers are on them. Did a lot of damage. Not sure they killed much though, the Terminators. And they took a bunch of damage. The Techmarine went down. Terminators are being chased. They could go down here. They've already used their teleport, obviously, and there's a level 4 sluggers, and they do go down. Rocket run in the mid. Mayhem. Baneblade having to turn to engage some Lightning Claw Terminators in the back there. The other Thunderhammer Terminators are still around, and are still on the Baneblade. Or are they? They seem to be attacking the Guardsmen. And then they got nuked by Demiurg, I think. Land Raider's still alive. I mean, they're tough fellas, they can take the nuke. But they might need to escape now. Taking a lot of damage, and there's still a bunch of plasma guns around here. And of course, the Lord General is buffing their fire rate. Oh, sorry, their range. Fire rate is from his melter guns. Flak Jacket's also in there. Terminator's pretty lucky to still have 2 models standing. 76 to 191 on the VP's 1-to-1 cap. We do see some defenses on the VP here. Who's this down? That's the Inquisitor still down. 3 of the heroes are down here. Kommando squad going for the cap. Lightning Claw Terminators have something to say about this with their claws. But they got it. They got it done. Are the Terminators going to try to cap here? They're getting quite low. Baneblade is doing well for Khalin. ChunkyCoates down to just 2 units, but they are a tier 3 Ork here. They can just pump out really strong infantry now, potentially. Noise Marines for Corrupted Jesus. We might see Blastmaster on them. I assume we are. Another Plasma Cannon on the way. This guy's still standing despite being dead over there. Force Commander, level 9 Force Commander runs away. Doesn't have an armor upgrade though. It's kind of rare to see for that guy. These guardsmen need to back off. That's a Great Unclean one. Taking Plasma Cannon hits, taking Vomit from the Warp. And there's a Cloud of Flies for good measure. I think they'll be okay. Might drop a few more models. Nob Squad with U-Jammers. Got those Thunderhammer and Lightning Claw Terminators and the Great Unclean one to mop them up, and they didn't want to fight him, it turns out. Fair enough, I say. Fair enough. Just used to teleport those Terminators. What can they do about these guys? I mean, the Inquisitor is great versus Terminators, but she's down. Could use Tripper Shot, but it's not going to do a massive amount of disruption. It's just going to stun one of the models. They have good DPS, but 2 Terminators running at you with a Great Unclean one is difficult. They need to go and revive that Inquisitor. She could do a lot against the Terminators. 75 to 140. Red team have the mid. The Land Raider continues to frustrate and bewilder the blue team here. Right enemy crosshairs. Goes for the Force Commander, knocks him over. Frag assault from the Land Raider. Knocks everything off the cap. Does a bunch of damage too. Commandos are trying to get it done. Desperation here from the blue team. The Vomit seemed to miss there from the Great Unclean One. Just ate something funny. That's a rocket run. Decent hit on those scouts to get them away from the repairs, and an orbital in the background there. Don't know if it got any good hits. Orbital can really hurt a vehicle if it stays around for the big blast at the end. Cast worthy? Yes, I'm casting it right now, Jumpers. Plasma Cannon gets a good hit. Some friendly fire though on Marines. So maybe not a good hit, and down they go. Facilitated their wipe there, the Plasma Cannon. Probably would have got away without it. Got some Flaskets with their blasters. Good tool to use against Terminators, but you need more than one of them. 25 to 140. Hey there, Jumpers. Las Cannon now, putting some pressure on the Great Unclean One. Where is the Sorcerer even? So it can be warped out safely. Maybe that's why they're staying back. It's now being infiltrated and worshipped, and it is a demon, so it gets a bunch of health regeneration. Looks like it's going to be safe, because you can't see the bastard anymore. Lightning Claw Terminators. Trying to get some Bane Blade action. I think the red team have done enough here. Kommando trying to decap the mid though. Don't think they have time to do so. Still a 2-1 against them, and there's the game. The red team hold on to the mid. The Land Raider did a massive amount of work. They just couldn't get it down. And then when the Terminators doubled up and the Great Unclean One hit the field, it became very difficult. Maybe they should have put more effort into doubling against this VP here to try and spread things out. And they should have got the Inquisitor up. She was down for ages and could have really helped against those Terminators. Look at his heroes end of the game. Level 8 Lord General. Level 5 Kommando. Inquisitor was level 6 even though she was down for, it felt like a good 10 minutes or so. It probably wasn't that long though. Level 10 Sorcerer. Level 9 Force Commander did huge amounts of work. And a level 5 Techmarine who had a topsy-turvy game ended up with double Plasma Cannons and some Devastators there. It was a fun one. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.